Good evening, this is QTV Nightly News coming to you from our studios on Kairaba Avenue, and I'm Asma Uba. Thanks for joining us. Here are the main news headlines. At the closing of the OIC Banjul Summit on Sunday, President Barrow, chairman of the OIC, says the 15th summit marks an opportunity for the Gambia to engage with member states and stakeholders to promote peace through dialogue within the Ummah. Hussein Ibrahim Taha, Secretary General of the OIC, congratulated President Barrow, his government and Gambians for their part in ensuring the success of the just-ended OIC summit. As the conflict in Palestine rages on, Gambia's Minister for Foreign Affairs, Dr. Mamadou Tangara, has joined world leaders at the recently concluded OIC summit in Banjul for the recognition of Palestine as a sovereign state. Rated as one of the most successful OIC summits of recent times, delegates in a final communique reaffirm their continued all-level support to the Palestinians and call for dialogue for lasting peace in all member countries facing conflict. And the recently concluded OIC summit, Banjul, President Barrow sent a special message of gratitude to President Xi Jinping for China's contribution with the construction of the $50 million conference center, the centerpiece of the summit. Those are other stories coming up. Do stay tuned. Thank you for joining us. At the closing of the 15th OIC Banjul Summit on Sunday, President Barrow, chairman of the OIC, says the 15th summit marks an opportunity for the Gambia to engage with member states and stakeholders to promote peace, justice and continuous dialogue within the Ummah and beyond. Julden Jai reports.
At the closing of the Banjul OIC Summit on Sunday, President Barrow, who will be the chairman of the organization for the next 3 years, thanked everyone involved in ensuring the Gambia's successful hosting of the summit.
The responsibility rests collectively on the organization to seek lasting solutions to the plight of the people in distress, resulting from any form of conflict, war or challenge that confronts the humanity.
The Gambian leader said the organization's guiding principles should be informed by the realization that no nation can ever be comfortable or live in peace when their neighbors or other OIC member states are not at peace.
We must embrace tolerance, therefore, as a core value and vehicle for sustainable peace, development, and stability. A key lesson to remember is that conflicts often result from biases, subjectivity, and illegitimate action that ignores or fail to prioritize our relations with those likely to be affected by our thoughts and actions. As an Islam organization, we are lucky to draw on the great principles and values of kindness, generosity, and understanding while leading honest and decent lives.
The chairman of the OIC commended the delegates for their presence at the summit, saying it indicates their devotion and commitment to upholding the principles of the OIC.
As incoming chairman of the organization, I urge all member states to cooperate and accompany the Gambia during our 3-year tenure to promote and realize our ideals and take concrete steps to advance the socio-economic status of the Ummah. In saying this, I submit that we embrace the theme of the summit.
The Gambian leader concluded by renewing his deepest gratitude to everyone who contributed to the success of this summit. For QTV News, I am Julden Jai.
Hussein Ibrahim Taha, Secretary General of the Organization of the Islamic Cooperation, has congratulated President Barrow, his government and the people of the Gambia for their part in ensuring the success of the just-ended 15th OIC Summit. Julden Jai again.
At the closing of the 15th OIC Banjul Summit on Sunday, Hussein Ibrahim Taha, Secretary General of the OIC, expressed thanks and gratitude to the government and people of the Gambia for the warm welcome and generous hospitality extended to them since their arrival. Mr. Taha also reiterated his thanks to President Barrow and his government for their efforts to ensure the successful organization and smooth running of the 15th session of the Islamic Summit, which greatly contributed to its success.
Operations that took place incessantly since Tuesday have helped us to discuss all the issues on the agenda of our meeting on a climate of cooperation and comprehension that has helped us to arrive at consensual results that strengthen solidarity among member states.
The Secretary General says the summit also affirmed its support to the Gaza-based UN relief agency, UNRWA, which has come under criticism from Israel and its allies and called for the continuation of its vital role.
In addition to all this, the summit also insists on the importance to accelerate the development process in order to ensure sustainable development, integrated trade, and enhanced cooperation in the areas of science and technology.
The conference also accorded special attention to promoting the rights of women, children, and people with special needs and youths, enhancing economic cooperation, trade exchanges, and agriculture to support food security and the protection of the environment. For QTV News, I am Julden Yai.
As the conflict in Palestine rages on, world leaders at the recently concluded 15th OIC Summit held in Banjul have amplified calls for the recognition of Palestine as a sovereign state. As we hear in this report by QTV's Ansumana Isonyasi, Gambia's Minister for Foreign Affairs, Dr. Mamadou Tangara, has also stressed the OIC's commitment to ensuring Palestine's attainment of nationhood.
Dr. Tangara joined world leaders from OIC member states in amplifying calls for global acknowledgement of a Palestinian state. Liberating the enclave was the main motive for the formation of the OIC and has always featured at the top of the organization's agenda since its inception. The Banjul summit was held considering the unprecedented developments in Palestine, notably the brutal Israeli military aggression against the Palestinian people, especially in the Gaza Strip. Dr. Tangara invites member states to lead the campaign for the protection of the rights of Muslim minorities, particularly in Palestine, and to formally recognize Palestine as a sovereign state.
All the OIC's member states recognize Palestine. There is no issue on that. So, in fact, the very essence of the creation of the organization is to liberate Jerusalem. Yeah, and the state of Palestine is a bona fide member of the OIC.
During his inaugural address at the opening ceremony, OIC Secretary General Hissène Taha also emphasized that the Palestinian cause remains the OIC's central issue and urged the member states to redouble efforts to mobilize the responsibility of the international community towards stopping the aggression and genocide against the Palestinian people in Gaza and the West Bank, including Jerusalem, and went on to implore member states to continue to rally international support for the recognition of the Palestinian state and help it attain full membership in the United Nations. It is worth noting that as of May 2024, the state of Palestine is recognized as a sovereign state by 141 of the 193 member states of the United Nations. Answani Sonyasi for KTV News.
That story will take us to our commercial break. When we return, we have more stories for you. Don't go away.
The art of juggling is a true spectacle of agility, coordination, and speed. A symbol of progression, precision, and mastery. "5G speed is like having the juggler in your pocket.
Amazing.
With lightning-fast download and upload speeds, you'll easily be able to juggle even the busiest workdays. Whether you're a busy entrepreneur, a creative, or just someone who wants to stay connected. Juggle your tasks with ease with QCell 5G speed. The future is here. It's fast, reliable, and efficient. First brought to you by QCell. We innovate, others follow.
Welcome back. If you're just tuning in, you're watching QTV News, and I am Asma Uba. Now rated as one of the most successful summits, the 15th OIC Banjul Summit under the new chairmanship of President Adama Barrow of the Gambia wrapped up on Sunday afternoon. In a final communique, delegates reaffirmed their continued all-level support to the Palestinian people to regain legitimate national rights and call for dialogue for lasting peace in all member countries facing conflict. Alusise was covering this summit and he now reports.
Once a dream, it became a reality and now a historic moment for the Gambia after hosting what is described by delegates as one of the most successful OIC summits since the formation of the organization in 1969 in terms of organization and representation. Delegates from across 57 member countries and observer countries of the organization, including presidents, prime ministers, foreign ministers, vice president, and senior government officials, flew into the Gambia for the summit under the theme Ensuring Unity and Solidarity through Dialogue for Sustainable Development. After days of closed-door deliberations on pressing matters affecting the Muslim Ummah, the summit issued a 39-page final communique regarding its position on these issues. On political affairs, the conference re-emphasized the centrality of the cause of Palestine and Al-Quds al-Sharif for the Muslim Ummah, reaffirming its principled and continued all-level support to the Palestinian people to regain their inalienable legitimate national rights, including their rights to self-determination and the establishment of the independent and sovereign state of Palestine along the 1967 borders with Al-Quds al-Sharif as its capital. The conference affirmed states of Palestine's full sovereignty over Al-Quds al-Sharif, its eternal capital, its rejection and standing against any Israel decision or measures aimed at Judaizing it and establishing its colonial occupation on it, being null and void and illegal under international law and the relevant UN resolutions. The summit condemns any party that acknowledges Al-Quds as an alleged capital of Israel, the occupying power, considering it as an illegal and irresponsible step as an assault on the historical, legal, and national rights of the Palestinian people and the Islamic Ummah. The conference affirmed the unwavering support of the member states' full membership of the Palestine in the United Nations and all the resolutions related to the Palestine cause in international fora and calls on the member states to be committed to that. The conference renewed its solidarity and political and economic support for Lebanon and its government in order to enhance stability, achieve prosperity, and preserve national unity and sovereignty over all Lebanese territories. The OIC rejects and condemns Israel's continued attacks on Lebanese territory and its violations of Lebanon's sovereignty by land, sea, and air, its repeated targeting of civilians, paramedics, and press reporters, its use of internationally prohibited weapons, and its jamming of air navigation systems, which threatens the safety of civil aviation. The conference welcomed the continued efforts of the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia and the Sultanate of Oman and the existing contacts with all Yemeni parties to revive the political process, leading to achieving a comprehensive and sustainable political solution in Yemen, the necessity of a ceasefire, and the importance of the Houthis engaging positively with international and UN efforts aimed at ending the Yemeni crisis and responding thoughtfully to initiatives and peace efforts to alleviate the suffering of the brotherly Yemeni people. The conference affirmed its full solidarity with the people of Sudan and its government regarding the continuation of the armed conflict between the Sudanese armed forces and the Rapid Support Forces, which began in mid-April 2023 and expanded to several regions in Sudan, and the resulting loss of lives and property, and the displacement of thousands of innocent civilian citizens. It stressed the importance of maintaining security, stability, and respect for the unity, sovereignty, and territorial integrity of Sudan, and warned against any external interference in Sudan. The conference praised the appreciated efforts made by the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia within the framework of the Jeddah platform, as well as the Egyptian efforts within Sudan's neighboring countries mechanism, as well as receiving Sudanese citizens fleeing the war. The conference underlined its rejection of any act violating the sovereignty and territorial integrity of the Federal Republic of Somalia following the signing of Memorandum of Understanding for Partnership and Cooperation between the Federal Republic of Ethiopia and the region of Somaliland on 1st January 2024 against the backdrop of its commitment to respect the sovereignty and territorial integrity of the country in accordance with the OIC Charter and international law. The conference expressed its deep concern about the growth of extremist rhetoric inciting terrorism among young people in the Sahel region and the Lake Chad Basin, especially due to unemployment and lack of training and qualifications. It welcomed the establishment of the OIC Fund to support qualify and train young people in the Sahel and Lake Chad region as part of an integrated strategy to combat extremism. In keeping with the summit's theme of sustainable development, the conference called on member states and OIC institutions, including the Islamic Development Bank and the Islamic Solidarity Fund, to support African member states by investing more in their development programs. The conference further called on all member states to expedite the signing or ratification of the OIC Charter and various OIC conventions, and urged in particular member states that are yet to ratify the Statute of the International Islamic Court of Justice to complete the necessary ratification procedure as soon as possible to enable the court to commence its activities and discharge the functions entrusted to it. The conference underscored the importance of trade for economic growth and employment in the OIC member states. It also emphasized the need for OIC member states to participate actively in global supply chains through the development of high-value added products and regional supply chains, seamless cross-border trade, as well as the development of halal industry and the organization of various trade promotion events, including the OIC trade fairs. Reporting for QTV News, I am Aliou Cissé.
China-Gambia relations have been in the spotlight at the recently concluded 15th OIC Banjul Summit. President Barrow sent a special message of gratitude to his Chinese counterpart, President Xi Jinping, for China's contribution to the construction of a $50 million conference center as part of their support for Gambia's hosting of the Global Convergence.
A handshake that symbolizes China's friendship and solidarity with the Gambia and the Muslim world. At the invitation of the Gambian leader, President Xi Jinping sent a special representative to the OIC Banjul Summit, Chang Jiangbang, who is also the vice chair of the Standing Committee of the National People's Congress. It took years for the Gambia to prepare for the OIC Summit, which is the second largest gathering of world leaders. A critical component in that journey was the construction of this wonderful venue, funded and built by China. The Gambia's president, who is the new chair of the OIC, sent his message of gratitude to President Xi Jinping at the opening of the summit.
Allow me to extend our heartfelt gratitude to the President of the People's Republic of China, His Excellency President Xi Jinping. His contribution towards the construction of this splendid state-of-the-art conference center is remarkably invaluable. The center symbolizes our unity and stands as a testament to the enduring partnership between our two countries. Its benefits to the Gambian nation cannot be overemphasized, as it fosters economic growth and enables us to host such prestigious gatherings, thus boosting our international standing.
President Xi Jinping's message to the summit underscored China's friendship and cooperation between nations in the Muslim world for peace and development.
China and Islamic countries enjoys traditional friendship. We are all developing countries with the same wish and aspiration for peace and development. We are good friends, promoting the development of our respective countries. We are good partners, safeguarding world justice and fairness.
On the sidelines of the summit, Gambia's president hosted President Xi's special representative for a bilateral meeting. In the meeting, President Barrow stressed China's support to the Gambia's social and economic development and his firm commitment to the One China policy. Also, President Xi's special representative, Chang Jiangbang, acknowledged the deepening friendship and cooperation between Banjul and Beijing and the comprehensive progress registered over the years as a result of that cooperation. Mohamed Lamin Choi, QTV News.
In sports news, the Minister of Youth and Sports, Bakari Waibaji, today went on a site visit to see the ongoing second phase remodeling work at the Independence Stadium in Bakau. Our sports reporter Mamoudou Gajaga was there and she now reports.
After the remodeling of the first phase of the project, it was recommended that some adjustments needed to be done before the stadium can be declared fit to host international matches. The renovation of the second phase is expected to be completed by August this year. Ibu Fai, manager of the Independence Stadium, explains.
But in the second phase is to have the fence that will separate the stadium from the main booth, from the main ground, which is the general ground, for people to have access to. Because we are meeting all the CAF requirements. What they have advised us to add on, like the media center, the player tribune, the media tribune, the scoreboard, and some of those things, the fence.
The Independence Stadium renovation work began last year, with the hope it will be completed before Gambia's final AFCON group qualifier against Congo. However, an inspector from the Confederation of African Football (CAF), who came to assess the work in July last year, recommended adjustments such as the perimeter wall, the dressing rooms, the VIP area, and the media access areas. Bakary Badji, the Minister of Youth and Sports, is hopeful that the ongoing Phase 2 work will be completed in 4 months and that the Gambia will again get the approval to host international matches.
The Independence Stadium is one place that every Gambian was so much interested in. Even those who were never interested in sports have taken up the discussion of the stadium as a major issue and have talked about it in multiple times, and yes, and for the right reason, because we know it's the only stadium that we have. Playing outside the country wasn't a desirable condition, but that's what we find ourselves in. But as you can see, work is progressing, has just started, and like Mr. Fai said, our anticipation is that in 4 months' time, from the period of starting, the work will be completed, and we will be able to bring back our matches to play at home.
According to Minister Badji, work on the first and the second phase will cost around $280 million. He also noted that there will be a third phase to include the floodlights and athletic tracks, which will require more funds.
The renovation alone is a good thing because, we all know we were all part of the 32 countries that were banned by Africa from hosting local matches. So, and some have worked on getting out of that zone. Gambia and some countries still remain in that list of countries that cannot host. So the fact that we're able to complete the job successfully and get out of that situation where we have to play our matches outside the country, that alone for me is a great thing for our sports, especially for our football.
The Independence Stadium was built in 1983 and opened a year later. This is the first major renovation work on the facility since its inauguration and the hosting of international matches at the stadium in 2022 for its failure to meet adequate international standards. It is hoped that after the completion of the second phase of the remodeling work, the ban will be lifted, allowing the Gambia's World Cup and AFCON qualifiers home games to be played there. Mamudu Gajaga, QTV News.
Before we end, here is a recap of our main news headlines. At the closing of the OIC Summit Banjul on Sunday, President Barrow, chairman of the OIC, says the 15th summit marks an opportunity for the Gambia to engage with member states and stakeholders to promote peace through dialogue within the Ummah. Hussein Brahim Taha, Secretary General of the OIC, congratulated President Barrow, his government and Gambians for their part in ensuring the success of the just-ended OIC Summit. As the conflict in Palestine rages on, Gambia's Minister for Foreign Affairs, Dr. Mamadou Tangara, has joined world leaders at the recently concluded OIC Summit in Banjul for the recognition of Palestine as a sovereign state. Rating as one of the most successful OIC summit of recent times, delegates in a final communique reaffirmed their continued all-level support to the Palestinians and called for a dialogue for lasting peace in all member countries facing conflict. At the recently concluded OIC Summit Banjul, President Barrow sent a special message of gratitude to President Xi Jinping for China's contribution with the construction of the $50 million conference center, the centerpiece of the summit. That's all we have for you in this news bulletin. Join us again tomorrow for another bulletin. Thanks for watching.